Hold you, man. Got my guest there. Of course, you know it's my brother Flows. You know to follow him on Twitter and Instagram at Flows Andolini. Of course, you can follow 79th and Hallis at 79th A&D Hallis on Twitter. It's a lot of craziness going down in the NFL world today. We got all these different signings. There's made all the trades official, the releases official, the new signings official. Khalil Mack is here in LA. He has a press conference. He looks fucking weird. As you can see, I got my jersey right here. I don't know if you can see it in the picture, but I'm probably covering it. But I have the Khalil Mack jersey in the back for his last day. How's it going on? What do you think the pulse is right now with the Bears and Bears fans?
I'm sure with Bears fans, it's probably saddening, to see someone who was playing for the Bears for how long? 4 years? And really became the face of the franchise, or really, he was the face of the franchise. I mean, even though they drafted Mitch Trubisky before him, then they drafted Justin Fields later, none of those dudes were the face of the franchise. It was Khalil Mack. And for all intents and purposes, he symbolized what it meant to be a Chicago Bear. He symbolized that completely. And to see him go, yes, it's saddening. It was necessary, but it was saddening. And I think right now, Ryan Poles is just in that mood and that mode where it's just time to clean out the house. Clean out the house, see what we have as the foundation. What I mean by that, of course, is like if you're about to build a house or you want to tear down a house to build on and you want to make sure the foundation's good. It's the same with this team. Who are those foundational players? Okay, who are we going to keep? And who are the weak links, people we're going to release? And then who are the people that we can get value for? They're good, but just don't fit with this team. So.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with that. Like you said, everything has been when you look at this roster, and I always said this when you look at the roster evaluation, obviously Ryan Poles felt like this roster is shit, and I hate to tear this thing all the way down. I know it's been hard for a couple Bears fans because quote unquote fan favorites. Tariq Cohen is not here anymore. Danny Trevathan is not here anymore. Bilal Nichols signed with the Raiders. I know I'm missing somebody else. Eddie Goldman got cut. So it's like a whole bunch of things going on. And now we got Bears fans who have been pretty frustrated about the free agency period going on, which doesn't make any sense to me considering that Ryan Poles said that he was going to go through the second and third markets. Now, of course, they signed Larry Ogunjobi. I don't know if I pronounced his name wrong. He was on the Cincinnati Bengals. He got injured in that wild card game against the Raiders. We had a pretty good game. They signed Lucas Patrick for the offensive line. He was with the Packers last year, and of course they signed Nicholas Morrow, who was a linebacker, and he missed all of last season with the Raiders as being hurt. But these are three low quality signings. Except for Larry Ogunjobi, I think that's a really good signing. What's your opinion on these three new signings, and what do you think that's coming up next for the Bears in this free agency?
I think these signings were fine for depth. I forgot his name from the Bengals. I can't repronounce it.
Larry Ogunjobi
was probably the best out of all of them. It's someone who I would look at as competing for a spot on the team. Because right now, there's no really consistency on the line right now.
Right.
Larry Boren played 8 games, started 3. Tevin Jenkins was available for 6, started 2. Cody Whitehair is there. James Daniels is gone. Sam Usfer's not going to start anymore. And so who do you have really on the line is the question. You don't really know. And so right now, the Bears have to be patient. This is not a time for a team that's rebuilding to just jump off and sign everybody.
Right.
I think one of the biggest things with free agency is that who did we sign? Did we get this person? Did we get that person? And that's a nice entertainment factor. You know what I mean? Because it entertains you. You feel like, oh, man, we signed this person. This is so dope. But that only takes you so far. You know what I mean? That really only takes you so far. If you get these big name splashes, but you spend so much money on this person that you hurt yourself when you need to get depth, it's not worth it. And so right now, I'm not going to be a person who's cheerleading Ryan Poles because I don't know what he's doing. I don't have the insider info. I like the signings for depth right now, and that's really the only thing they should be building. They should be building people who fit within their scheme for the defense, the 4-3, for the offense, an explosive offensive team, really an air attack offense, which is what they want. And everything else everybody needs to fit within this puzzle. You know what I mean? If there was a puzzle, you had a square piece, you couldn't put a circular piece, a triangular piece. You need what fits. And so right now, Bears fans shouldn't be expecting to be some big name splash unless they're going to take a friendly contract. And
Well, yeah, I definitely agree with that, and that's something the Bears have done the past couple of years. Well, through the whole Ryan Pace era, they've had some quote unquote big signings during free agency. That's nothing that's been new to Ryan Pace. But
Yeah.
how many of those signings actually worked out? I mean, Taylor Gabriel was gone pretty quickly. Allen Robinson had maybe 2 good years out of his four in Chicago. All these other different signings. Robert Quinn just had a great year last year, so those don't automatically equate to wins. And also, we got to look at it. This is the landscape of the NFC North. Aaron Rodgers is back. So you're not gonna beat the Packers. You know what I'm saying? What you need to do right now is build this completely up as good as possible. So when Aaron Rodgers either retires or you're fully equipped to knock him out, you're ready to go. So I just feel like Bears fans, like, yes, I'm not, championing Poles. I don't know what he's doing either, but it's just I'm not that I don't know what he's doing, but I don't know what it's gonna amount to because it's his first year as a GM. But I was like, all I'm like
the truth is we don't know what he's doing.
That's true.
We're not in those meetings, and we don't act like we're insiders who have, like I have Ryan Poles on standby. I can call him and say, "What you doing, bro?" We don't know. We can say he comes from this pedigree, he has this, but we don't know what he's doing. So all we can do is just wait and see.
Yeah, pretty much, man. Off topic with the Bears, real quick. Not too much. Still waiting, for other signings going. All this shit is fluid. By the time you watch this, we might have signed somebody else. I don't know. I haven't looked at my phone in a second. But everything else going on in the NFL, it's been a crazy 2 weeks, 10 days, whatever, since everything's been going on. Aaron Rodgers is back. Tom Brady's back. Russell Wilson is in Denver. Deshaun Watson, got off trial or whatever you want to call it.
Got out of the hell in the cell with the Texas Department of Corrections.
Exactly. Now he's got this pick of the litter. What's your thoughts on everything going on? Like, what's the biggest story to you in the NFL right now?
Oh, it's Deshaun Watson. I mean, he a nasty nigga, but he is the talk of the town right now because when regardless of his behavior as a human, he is a talented football player. And whoever gets him, I mean, that's franchise changing. The Browns get Deshaun Watson, which I highly doubt. But if the Browns get Deshaun Watson, you start wondering, man, are the Browns a contender? Just like that. You already have you got rid of Jarvis Landry and OBJ left last season, but you got Amari Cooper there and you have Deshaun Watson. More importantly, that happens. He is a person who makes an immediate contender out of all of them. The Russell Wilson signing today look weird to see him there in Denver and talk about all this. It seemed like a changing of the guard in so many different areas. Things are changing and moving around the league. The only thing that remained really the same, which was sort of surprised, was Tom Brady coming back. You think this was going to be his passing the torch moment. He's like, I'm going to hold on to the torch for a little bit longer.
Right.
So it has been one of the most exciting off seasons, and it just started that I can remember in recent memory. But yeah, it's big names. I did not see Khalil Mack in the Chargers jersey. I will not see Khalil Mack in that Chargers jersey. I'm going to
it looks very weird.
I'm going to black that out of my memory. It seems wrong. I hope they can get him back a year from now. I don't like it, but
I will say Khalil's been in LA in one day and he's already adapted to the wearing a hoodie in 80-degree weather. That policy that happens out here. So he's already adjusting. But off football, real quick, one last thing before we get you out of here. Any thoughts on this upcoming baseball season now that the lockout is finally fucking over?
Man, put up a shutter for the White Sox. That's all my thought is right now.
Yeah.
I like Joe Kelly is probably the biggest sign that I like, as a reliever. But that man. And as far as everything else goes, I mean, Chris Bryant going to the Rockies, that was just announced. It's a doo-doo team, but I guess you get that money.
7 years, 182, no trade clause. I thought it'd be more than that.
I thought it would be in the 200 range.
Yeah, so did I. But I think all the old Cubs kind of like read the market wrong because Anthony Rizzo didn't get shit from the Yankees.
That makes sense. So yeah, I mean I'm so happy that baseball is back, but it's being overshadowed by the NFL, and it hasn't been really many splash. We're talking about entertainment. When it's your team, I don't care about entertainment. I want something concrete and good. When it's other teams, you want something that's splashy. I haven't seen really anything splashy so far.
Yeah, even the MLB's condensed free agency moves slow as shit. We're waiting for you, Freddie Freeman. Once he signs, hopefully that'll open the floodgates. But that's pretty much all we got to talk to you about today, man. It's off-season shit, a lot of shit going on. Of course, 7 at the House presents. We'll be dropping this week. We promise you. I know it sounds like we've been holding out like Detox, but it's coming by the end of this week. will be up. First episode will be free. So check that out, man. And you got your breakdown show that'll be coming soon. I don't know when it's coming soon, but it's coming soon. What about your solo podcast? Anything you want to tell anybody about that coming?
It's called A Chat with Big Folks. I have made my own name.
That's the official
name. The official name is A Chat with Big Folks. Scott has Scott original title was I Got Something to Say, but that's a Scott ass title. It's not my type of title. My type of title is A Chat with Big Folks. Just imagine me having a cup of tea and chatting with you. And so it's literally a talk show, literally me talking for the entire show about anything and everything, and just me ranting. Imagine the Simpsons Old Man Yells at Cloud. That's going to be me in podcast format. If you like it, cool. If you don't, who cares? So that's me, passion project, really.
Passion project. Check that out on the Barbershop Network. You know to follow him at Flo Zandolini. Follow 79th and Hallis, 79th A&D Hallis on Twitter, man. We'll holler at you next time.